My name is Steve Collins. I'm the Chief Development Officer for Cardiovascular Logistics, and in that role, I drive our growth through partnerships with private cardiology groups. It's an interesting phenomenon, a very exciting time for cardiovascular medicine. Now, the consolidation of physician specialties is not a new concept. It's very mature in other areas of the landscape like dermatology and anesthesiology and radiology and others, but it's very new in cardiovascular medicine, and that's predominantly because historically so much of cardiovascular medicine was delivered within the integration of a hospital program. I think more than 80% of cardiologists historically have been part of hospitals, and that trend is reversing today with more and more availability of traditionally hospital-based cardiovascular procedures now being able to be done in outpatient settings. And it creates a path to independence for more cardiologists to reestablish in private practice. When we're looking for partners, we want to build a platform that's the best in the country. And to be the best, you have to really partner with the best. So we're looking for a culture that aligns with our vision of transforming cardiovascular care for the country, as well as groups that are functional, have a track record of quality and service. And that will provide the best opportunity for a group to thrive in our platform when you have that kind of alignment. I think the biggest thing is there's a predisposition that a sale or joining with a larger organization, whether it's a private equity company or other large organization, is that it's all about money and quality of care will suffer as a result. And nothing could be farther from the truth. There's certainly differences in potential partners, and I think that's a key for any practice to evaluate is this the right partner for me and what drives them. In the case of cardiovascular logistics, we're looking for transforming cardiovascular care across the country. And in our partnership with Lee Equity Partners, we have a private equity firm that is 100% aligned in that vision. They're building a company that will be a forever company that is sustainable and provides the backbone and support that's needed to help drive the scale that we're trying to build. Period. So I think the most important thing for practices that are looking at it is to make sure they do their due diligence on potential partners, because not everybody has the same goals and objectives. But in our case, we are looking for groups that are aligned with our vision, and our vision is very consistent with our partners at Lee Equity. Mergers and acquisitions, generally, culture can frequently be underlooked. You look at different things like financials and medical malpractice and legal matters, but culture can make or break a partnership. And if you have a misalignment of culture, no matter how good the transaction structure is or other elements work, it's probably not going to go very well. And that assessment's not always easy. So what we try to do is engage with the practices early on with our team in different settings, more formal meeting settings, having a dinner together. And we really like to meet the majority of the providers of the practice because that will also give you insights as to the culture of the practice throughout their organization. And you're looking for somebody that's looking for the same thing. And if what we are offering makes sense for the practices and the idea of transforming care and building a national platform that's going to benefit our patients and families, then we have a good shot at a strong alignment on that area. That's a huge area of focus for our organization, because if you can't deliver on the value proposition, then the groups that join may feel like they made a mistake or didn't fully realize what they were getting into. So there's an intense focus on our side that we can deliver, the value as a platform to these groups, and that's from helping with management matters with the practice systems, medical malpractice, some of the headaches that groups deal with on a day-to-day basis. But more importantly, it's driving growth. And a smaller practice, an independent practice, it's a struggle to grow. Capital is an issue, but also the resources and scale that you need to generate different kinds of programs can be very challenging. So with us and with the scale that we're building, we can invest in programs such as a 24-hour virtual care center, cardiac rehabilitation, blood labs, the most advanced imaging equipment that's available. These are things that we can do on a scaled basis that benefit all of our partner groups and drive tremendous value for them beyond the initial merger. Again, this is where when you look at M&A, the M&A landscape historically, where when you see M&A transactions that don't work very well, there's a good chance that you tripped up on integration. So, the most important thing, this is a people business. Our providers are people, we're serving people, and you want to make that experience, the day after the merger closes, the week after the merger closes, to be as seamless as it can be. There was always a little element of disruption that comes with doing a major transaction, but you want our physicians to go home Friday, we close the transaction, come to work Monday like it's any other day. So we spend a lot of time while we're doing due diligence on a practice. We have our integration team riding side by side. So they're looking at all the same information that our teams are looking at, and they're starting to develop their work plan and blueprint for how we bring this practice on board. And it runs the gamut from integrating electronic medical records, if we're going to do that, accounting and financial reporting systems, compliance programs. You want to generate consistency across the platform, but you also don't want to cause disruptions to the practice. So it's not a one-size-fits-all process for integration. You have to look at each case, what the practice has, and develop a plan to address those issues to try to make it as seamless as it can be. That's one of the core pillars, of our platform is, technological superiority. And we've invested historically, an awful lot of capital and time and effort in trying to have the best technology that's available. An example is our virtual care center that we have with Cardiovascular Institute of the South. That was an investment made by the practice, to establish a 24/7 virtual care center that not only serves our patients, but it also provides quality to our providers in terms of being able to accommodate large number of inbounds. So that's a critical element going forward. And what we typically find with a lot of practices is most of them haven't been able to invest in that kind of technology because they don't have the size and scale to do it. Again, the benefits of a platform like Cardiovascular Logistics is we have the scale to do that, to make those investments and then share the benefits with all of our partner practices. And again, it's another value driver for them, but it also benefits patients and the care that we provide. It goes into that whole integration and looking for the right partner process. So while we're doing our due diligence, we're also going to be engaged with the physicians of the practice and their support staff to understand what they're doing well and try to make sure that we're putting together a plan for post-closing that they're also aligned with. This is not a top-down prescriptive approach to partnering with groups. We want their input and feedback. What is it they want? What is their wish list? What do they think benefits their practice and their patients? And concoct this very specific plan, for them for growing and integrating the practice post closing. That input from physicians is what is kind of core to our culture of being a physician-led platform. Our physicians are going to drive the future of the platform, and the ideas that come out of all of our practices, into our network also are shared across the network and benefit each group. The concept of entering into a process like this can be kind of daunting because it is intensive in terms of information and questions and due diligence. But going into it, I think the most important prep they can do is try to align internally within their practice as what are we looking for? What type of partner do we want? Do we just want capital? Are we interested in new ideas? And go into a process looking for the type of partner that's going to fit that vision. Otherwise, it's just you're casting too wide of a net, and potentially it's overwhelming the number of parties that might express an interest, and you're trying to sort through it. So I think aligning on what you're looking for going in is hyper important. And then, in terms of the team, it's just aligning the shareholders, and not even just the shareholders of the practice, but also your employed physicians and providers about what to expect, the direction of the practice, because having that alignment and having everybody understand the direction that they're heading and what they're looking to do will make the process flow so much easier. And I'll add good communication within the practice is very, very important to trying to ensure a smooth transition. It's interesting. I mean, it's one of the largest specialties, if not the largest, in the country in terms of revenue, and it's just in the very early stages of transformation. And we will clearly, we talked earlier about the outpatient trends that are happening. We're going to make significant investments in supporting the ability of practices to see patients and do procedures in outpatient settings. But our partnerships with hospitals are also critical too. Hospitals will also always forever be a core part of cardiovascular care, and we're a platform that desires to partner with the hospitals, and even in some cases we can help co-manage their programs and help make their programs even better and more efficient. So it's going to be a future where you're going to see the kind of the marriage of platforms like us, hospital-based programs and services, and independent practice, going forward. And the technology and investment, I think, in the years ahead are going to be huge, and we'll see a lot of changes. But ultimately, I think these changes will benefit tremendously, our patients, and be able to drive continuing better outcomes for patients and a better experience when they're seeking cardiovascular care.